Hello, welcome to lesson, you can see down here, M6 shoe impressions. You're going to read the info in the booklet and watch this. You can read it online as well. Take the quiz, do the lab, try it in the real world if we have time and we're around, and work on your final project or start working towards it if you're done. So, today we're going to look at shoe print impressions. Now, this, much like the previous class where we did, the last lesson, we are going to, when we did DNA typing, this is a very short lesson. You're going to read some stuff, do a couple questions, take the online lab, and maybe try it in the real world. But it's kind of cool because it's a cool hands-on one. Or should I say, foot-on. So these are casts. One is of a basketball shoe, and one is of a hiking or a work boot, And we made these in class. It's a Max Air, I guess, and this looks like a Timberland. So they're hard. So that's kind of hilarious. How do we make those is one of the questions. But let's just first of all take a look at the document cam here and see what it said. So, footprint impressions occur when material such as soil takes on the form of a shoe or a bare foot through direct physical contact. A footprint impression can be used in court as evidence. Footprint impressions can be a very useful tool for forensic scientists when trying to reconstruct the story of a crime scene. For example, let's assume that you know suspect 1 wears a size 12 shoe and suspect 2 wears a size 6 shoe. If you then conduct a casting of a shoe impression found around the crime scene, and it's equivalent to a size 12, you've learned a lot about who's likely to have made that impression. You may also be able to deduce some other information from a footprint impression, such as how fast the person was traveling when the impression was made, or how much the person weighs. How might a forensic investigator be able to deduce these additional facts in the footprint impression? To examine a footprint, first prepare it for possible submission as evidence. Forensic investigators will often create plaster castings of a footprint. To create a cast, a substance, such as plaster, is prepared and poured into impressions. This substance is allowed to dry and harden and then is removed. So the first thing you're going to do is create a shoe print impression, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. You'd obviously take the quiz, and then you will do the matching, the crime print. You'll do C, D, E, and F, and you'll match them to the master versions of the shoe prints in the online lab. Let's take a look at that quickly. So we're here. Let's go to Murder at Old Fields. We would go to the footprint impressions. There is the information and the quiz down there that you'll do. Then you'll go to the lab. You will pick footprints, and you will have all of your controls and all of your evidence. And you will have to match them, right? And then once you match them, you will submit it for whose footprint is where. And if you find footprints in parts of the house when you map it out, where they shouldn't be, in rooms where they shouldn't be theoretically, although at this point you probably have a very good idea of who the murderer was, does this foot imprint evidence help further your case against that person? What have you found about where the footprints are, and how does that tell a story? Now, let's look at how you would make a cast. You would get, and this is real, this is really what they would use. This is impression foam. Even if you just lightly touch it, it leaves an impression. It makes dents in it as soon as you touch it. So let's look down here. This is a really fun thing to do. So, you'll see here, we've got our foam. See, if I touch it, it leaves a dent instantly, and I barely touched it. So I've got my shoe here, my sandal. It looks a little bit worn off, which will be interesting. How you do this is you put your shoe in. You could also do this on a print, but you put your shoe in. You would sink it in really good. There we go. And take that out. Next up, you get some track stone plaster. Mix it with water, about 9 ounces of water, and shake it till the colors are one nice green. You would pour that in here. Glug, 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 glug. You'd mix it right in the bag, pour it in, and you would let it harden for a few hours. But before you do that, I almost forgot. Once you have a good impression in the foam, you take hairspray and you simply spray and harden that impression. It kind of leaves a nice film and hardening layer on the footprint to make a nice preserved print. So you let that dry, and then you would add the plaster to it to make a nice impression, much like one of these. Isn't that neat? To the detail, you can see so many details from this. So, once again, what you need to do today is read the info and take the quiz, do the lab, and then, oh sorry, there you go. Read the info, take the quiz, do the lab, and if time, we'll try it in class and work on the project. So 2 things. If you're around, if that's how this class is working and we can come here, we'll actually try one of these. We'll do this one and maybe take another shoe print impression and make them for fun. And if you're done everything, because this is a very short assignment, it's only going to take you a couple minutes, I would like you to work on, as a matter of fact, work on your final project, because you should have a topic of forensic investigation that you're working on. Keep going through whatever your topic is and finding articles and videos on your topic and putting them in a Google Doc or something like that somewhere where you can keep track of all the resources you're gathering. Because soon, you're going to be gathering and analyzing resources towards your final project presentation. So pick a topic in forensic science and start investigating it preliminarily right now, just getting a feel for things. We're going to move on to the last lesson soon, which is just blood spatter. We're not going to do all of the blood spatter, but we can do some of it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. And hopefully we get a little bit of hands-on work with that as well. So we will see you soon. We'll be wrapping up this case and moving on to just working on final projects. So take care.